Hello, everyone. Welcome to Waxel Live. We're doing one more this week. We had our Waxel Live yesterday, but I wanted to do one more today to show you how to make two-tone sills with this gorgeous Happy Holidays stamp from the Waxel Club box. So if you don't get the box, you definitely need to get it. Let me show you. So what comes in every box? Scooch my stuff to the side. This is it. Waxel Club. And I'm like, so tight on space right here. Let me know how your day's going. I know a lot of you were at my workshop live, the holiday workshop, which was so fun. I had such a fun week. But let me know what else you've been up to today. So every box you get one stamp that's unique. And as of the last couple years, they're all ones that I've designed. So this one says Happy Holidays, and you can see it's this really cute little half wreath on the top and the bottom. And then you get 3 colors of sealing wax. So for this box, it's gold, antique gold, classic red, and cream. So those are the 3 colors, and it comes in this little box of sticks. And then there's a little bonus item. Yesterday was meant to be the last day of the early bird bonus, but I think I'm just going to extend it to today because I know there are a few people who had messaged me that they didn't want to miss it. So order today and you can still get the ribbon. It's 1/8 inch, 10 yards, and it's super cute for making ribbon sills. And then you'll also get the bonus of these gift tags. So they're gold foil and there's different designs. I need to get them back in order. Merry and Bright, Happy Holidays, bows, wreath, Merry Christmas. This is the same design as the stamp, so it's repeated, which I love doing stuff like that. So that's the little bonus. Your very first box, you get a handle with it too. And that's actually really important for this technique. We need a handle. And usually in like all my videos, I'm never using a handle, but for this technique, you need one. So let me show you. If you want to get this box, I'm going to add the link in the comments. Let's see. I can see Kimberly's here. Welcome. Catherine's here. Welcome from California. Virginia's here. Hello, Patricia. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you guys are here. So I'm just going to add the link to it here. If anyone who hasn't joined would like, here you go. Hello from Canada. Finally catching a live. I love it. I love it. Okay, so here's the supplies that we're going to need. So we need a stamp, right? So I would say as you're just starting with this technique, a deeper engraving is going to be easier than a more shallow engraving. So we want to choose something that's deep and not shallow, and this one is deep. So we've got that covered. We're going to need parchment paper down, marble pad to pour our final seal on. You're going to need your sealing wax color, so I'm going to pull from the colors that are in the box today. We'll use those. And then you do need a handle. So here's the handle. It's the standard size. It fits on almost all wax seal stamps. So we'll just spin it on and we need that. We need at least 2 colors. So I think we'll try a gold and a cream first. So I've got cream. It's heating up in a low temp glue gun. And we'll check the temperature in a minute and we might need to cool it down. Other things that I have, because this is letters and there's lots of little ones, we try doing, I thought we may try doing 3 colors versus just 2, in which case we'll need this little awl to help us pop out some of the color. We'll want to have a lighter to pop any bubbles. And then we need to have some spatulas. So this one, they're just like the art spatulas. This one I like to use for getting the seal off and for my cool scrape. And we need to have 2 more that are hot spatulas. So these are also art spatulas here. And what they're sitting on is a candle warmer. So that is warming them up. And I'm using this stamp just to hold them in place so that the metal is flat to the heat and they're getting hot. So we need 2 that are hot, 1 that is cold, 3 total. So know that anytime I'm grabbing one of these ones, it's hot. And I'll try to like say that, but it's off camera a little bit and out of the way. Okay, I think that's all the supplies I have. That's everything. So for this technique, temperature is the key. That's really how we're going to be able to achieve this. So if we try to get wax just into the engraving of this right now while the stamp is just room temperature, it's not going to work. We need the metal to be a little bit warm, because if it's warm, then this wax will stick to it and adhere to it when we're scraping off any excess. So the idea here is, I should have grabbed a little example, and I'm like, I don't have one close by, but we're going to make all the engraving is going to be one color, and we're going to press it into a second color. So it's going to be a two-toned sill. Okay, so I think maybe we'll try with doing cream as the first one. So I would always say, if you're just starting, start with like cream or white as the color that's being poured and scraped off, and then choose your second color, kind of a medium tone. I think this one's like kind of dark, but it's a little bit medium. I'm thinking like black and navy, the white shows up a lot more, and even a little bit on the red. So let's just go through this. The other thing I forgot to say that I have here too is I have some paper towels. So I like to have kind of two for different purposes. So I'm going to have those kind of out. Whoops, I dropped one. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it on the warmer. So I'm going to take you over here, and I'm going to make myself smaller. So I'm just going to set this here. There we go. You can see I'm just letting it warm up, and then I'm going to take it off and I'm going to fill it. And I can feel that it's like barely warm, and I need it to be a little warmer. It's not warm enough that it's going to burn you, not even close, but I need it to be warm. And so it's really, each time was maybe like 10 seconds. So we're at 20 seconds. And I feel like it's probably okay right now, but I could go just a touch longer, like 4 or 5 seconds. And that feels pretty good. So it's not super hot, but it's warm enough that when I do the wax, it's going to stick to it. How large is the stamp? Asked Virginia. It's a 30 millimeter, so it's like 1.25 inches, I think. Okay, so, and the one thing that we should have done first is check our wax temperature, but our wax is looking pretty good. So the very first step, what we want to do, and I'm going to move my spatulas really quick so their shadow is not right where we're working. So I'm going to pour onto the parchment paper enough to fill it, enough to like I could press a sill with this. And I'm going to press down and pull. And I can see there's already some that didn't get filled. So I'm going to have to fill that up. And then I'm going to take a hot spatula, and I have my paper towel ready, and I'm going to go over it. And you can see it's not coming off very well. So a couple things. It just popped out. Don't you love it when things don't work the very first time? It's okay. I'll show you how to fix it. Okay. So part of the thing that happened here is I did this, and then I didn't quickly scrape it. So it's like as soon as you do the pour and this, you want to immediately scrape it after. This one is not as hot as the other one that's on my candle warmer here. So I want to be able to switch them. But first, so I can take that off really quickly. I've got quite a bit of area that needs to be filled still, so I can just go again. So if I go to a new area up here, same thing, pour my wax, do a quick scrape, and then off. And you see I tried to do that really fast so that it wouldn't have time to dry. And then this, I'm just going to wipe on my paper towel, and then I can go again. So we're scraping first with the hot, and then after I've scraped a few times, you can still see there's quite a bit of residue. I need to switch my spatulas. You can pull all these little bits off. But with the hot, we want to get as much off as we can, but there's still going to be some, but we can get quite a bit off if we kind of keep going around. And clean off the top of the spatula too. You want it to be totally cleaned off so you can put it back on the candle warmer without getting wax all over your candle warmer. Okay, so now we're here. So we've got at least all of the the engraved parts are filled, which is good. That's what we're looking for. At this point, if we did notice like, oh, there was a little part that came out or something was wrong, then we'd want to fix it now before we go any further. But everything's looking pretty good right now, so we're going to move to our next step. So at this point, I usually try to move these bits of wax can be used in a candle or in like a warmer with a spoon. So we can still use those for later, but we can move them out of our way a little bit. And I need to check the wax of my second color. So I'm pressing this into gold. So I need to check how my gold is. And it looks like it's a little bit on the cool side. So I'm going to turn it back on, or you would plug it back in so it can be warming up so it's ready when we're done with this next step. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull off this edge. If the wax is cooled, it will just come off like that. But sometimes once you've made a few of these, the stamp is getting hot and you'll need to, I usually just go along with my fingernail to get the edge, but I usually try to clean the edge off, or I'll use a paper towel like this. I don't need it in this instance, and clean it off all the way around. But you can see we still have, there's lots of like cream colored residue all over just the brass parts that we need to clean off. So we want to clean that off before we press it into the second color. So I can use a cold spatula, and you can see it's not a lot, but it's getting off those little bits of residue, and we're going all the way around. And that's this step. So you can kind of take as much time as you want here. I will say the cooler the metal on your stamp gets, the easier it is to actually accidentally scrape up some of the wax that's already stuck in there. And we don't want to do that because then we have to go back a step and re-pour and stuff. And we just want to get it as clean as we can. And this is going to leave some scratches on your stamp. So there's kind of surface level. They're not going to show up in our sill. And then I kind of clean off the top. So all of those little bits. But you can see there's going to be some scrapes on the metal, but it's kind of surface level. It's not going to be a big deal or show up in my sill. Now from here, I'm ready to press it into my second color. So I'm going to go over the marble so I can pop any bubbles. And we're going to pour. And then I'm going to press and hold. And that was a pretty decent temperature because I don't have too many bubbles, but I am going to do a quick around with the lighter to make sure any of those are popped that are there. And now I just need to wait. So when this technique, I always want to say this because this was developed by Catherine Hastings. She's the one who like made it up. So she's a wax seal artist and she's amazing. So when I first started doing this, I've been trying to learn it for years, and it wasn't until the beginning of the year where I was like, I'm figuring this out because it's so cool and I want to know how to do it. But when I was during that time at the beginning of the year, I would be like press, and I just wanted to take it off immediately like a normal seal, but you can't. It needs the time to cool because we heated up this metal more than a stamp would normally be. So I always leave it. I don't even worry about it until I've completely made one more and I'm ready to press it, and then I'll pull this one off. So we want to give it lots of time to cool. So I'm going to set that aside. We're going to try another one. Could you try to make a wax seal garland for a Christmas tree in one of your live videos sometimes? It would be perfect for Crafty Christmas. A wax seal garland for a Christmas tree. Oh, I have done a little garland. It wasn't for Christmas though. It was a happy birthday one, but I used like the seal and I put two seals together anyway. But yeah, I like that idea. That'd be fun. Okay, so let's do another one. And my wax is on now, but I can check the temperature really quick. And it seems okay. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to put this on the warmer, the candle warmer. And I'll have to kind of scooch those knives over So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can hear my children fighting. Like, are they going to come in here? Who knows? If you were around in the summer, you've already met my children because they would come in a lot when I would do these videos, especially my little 6-year-old. I'm going to do just a split second more. So I think it's around 30-ish seconds. But the longer your candle warmer is plugged in, the hotter it's going to get. So as you're making them, if you're like sitting down to make a bunch, the longer it's plugged in, you're not going to need to do it for 30 seconds because it's hotter. You maybe just 20 seconds. If you ever get to this point and you're like, ooh, this just feels too hot, it's like almost burning you. The reason you don't want to do that is you'll get this wax stuck in there and you won't be able to get it out easily. So if it does start to feel too hot, I would set it aside and choose a new stamp and do the new one till this one cools, because it almost always kind of ends up to be a mess. Okay, so let's do another one. This one, let's try pressing it into red. So this is a little bit on the warm side, but I'm not too worried. And I'm actually going to grab my spatula off now so I have it. I'm going to press and drag and then a scrape. I still have hot wax here, and I can go back over. See how there's little bubbles in there? I can go back over, and I'm trying to press the wax into the design. So I can go over it a few times like that to try to really get things into the engraving. And then I need to wipe off my spatula, get that nice and clean. And I need to grab the next hot one. So using 2 hot ones was a tip I got from Strictly Rita, who also is a wax seal artist. And that has really helped me because it's like one just cools down, and so you need another one that's hot. And so that's helped me a lot, that little tip. So we just want to try to get, oh, look what I just did. So I accidentally like dug into there, which I think is going to be okay. So you can also put a little bit on top and go off. But I don't know if that would have shown up, but it might have in the final still. So we'll want to do that. So I can keep going with the hot until I've got mostly everything off. And that's when I'll go to the cool scraping. Okay, so pretty good. Gonna keep those ones hot, so gotta put them back. And I'm gonna clean up the edge. So this one's a little hotter, so it's coming off, but it's leaving a little bit of wax residue. So you can see it's like more dirty around the edge. So that's when I would still take a paper towel and go just around the edge to kind of clean it and get all that wax residue off. So now I'm just working with what I need to fix on the top. So again, move these little bits out of the way so we've got a clean surface. And we need to check our red wax. So this one is looking, it had a bubble almost immediately. I'm going to turn those off because I don't want them too hot. And now we're going to scrape. Myra asks, is it too late to join the Christmas classes for next week? So actually the Christmas classes happened this week and today was the last day. So I'm going to do an option to like purchase a lifetime access so then you could watch the recordings. But yeah, it's already passed. I do plan to do though the 12 days of wax sills. So, and that one's like free. It's just going to be 12 days. And let me know what you think. I did a poll on Instagram and Facebook, but I was trying to decide if it should be like every day. In the past, what I've done is every day I'll just do some type of something that's wax sills and Christmassy. That's all that has to be involved. And so anyway, you can use wax sills for your Christmas season. Anyway, so that's what I've done. But in the poll, I was wondering, and I'd love for you to chime in here, if you think it should be gift wrapping themed, like so that it's just about like wax seals on gifts, or if it should be how it has been the last couple years where it's just wax seals, Christmas, a holiday, and that's the only parameters. So, because in past years I did chocolate seals and isomalt seals last year that were really fun. I've done different types of wrapping ideas. I did like candles, a little candle thing last year. So I don't know, there's just lots of fun different things you can do. So I'm curious what you guys think. So this one is the Cool Scrape. So the whole point of this is to really clean off any extras in the blank spots. And you can see I am scraping up my stamp. So you do want to make sure that you're okay doing that. So I have a drawer in my storage that's like, these stamps are for pour and scrape. And I kind of just use those ones over and over again, and I'll add these ones to it. But you don't really want to, there's some stamps that are like really special or like a frame stamp. I wouldn't do a scrape on a frame stamp because you could just cut it out. But anyway, so just keep that in mind. I did my first two-tone sills following all your tips. It was almost perfect. Awesome. I'm so glad you tried it, Karen. I feel like it gets really intimidating. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many steps, but like, it's not too bad. It really isn't once you get going. Okay, so this, I'm going to pop it off. So if you keep the handle on, I'll try to pull like this. Sometimes the handles can break. So you'll have to feel, if it's feeling like it's not going to come off, then you can also use the Cool spatula to go underneath it. I don't love doing that because then it nicks up the bottom of the sill, which no one sees, but okay, before we look at that, let's hurry and press this one. It's not a super big deal that we waited to pull that off because we had heated this up so much, but we don't want to wait so long that it gets totally cooled because then it will not come out of the stamp. And I need another stick in here. So here's the red. This is the classic red. And wow, no bubbles. That worked out great. There's a little fuzzy here or something. Yes. What's up? Oh, this is Tanner. Do you want to say hi? He's going to hide. He needs help with the Go-Gurt. So, okay, here, Tanner. Tanner, here. Close the door for me, okay? Good job, buddy. So this one, we just want to let it cool more. Then we can take a look at this one, and then I'll check in on the comments. So we're going to pull this one off. This is the best part. If it's really sticking when you're trying to pull it off, just let it cool more. That's the key, is letting it cool. I hope it worked. It did work. Okay. Happy holidays. Okay, I'm loving it. I'm seeing some issues. So we've got some issues with bubbles. You see right here on some of the letters on this H, it's more prominent. Honestly, you pull it back a little bit and it's like, it's amazing. Who cares? But if you're looking closely, yeah, it's got some bubbles. So the one thing, this one we did a double press, like we had to press it twice, but pressing it down and going is a little more effective than pouring over the top, because at least pressing down. So I think the next time I'll try to press a little harder and make sure when I'm scraping, I'm trying to press it in, and we'll see if that will help improve that situation. But overall, I think it's really cute. And the gold and the cream. I'm excited to see how the red came out. Okay, so we can also try a version where gold, we can do gold on the inside and do white as the base. Let's see. The question about the workshop, more variety, more variety. Okay, so we'll do that. Do the scratches show up after doing the pour and scrape on just a plain stamp? Not really, because even on this one, let's see, like this has all the scratches in it in the moment, but it does have little bits. Like there's scratches, but there's also still wax residue on here. So I'll show you how to clean that off in a little bit. But like in the flat area, you can't really, there's nothing like a visible deep scratch, if that makes sense. So, but I still think you'll want to choose like which stamps you want to do it with. You might not want to do it with all of them. So I'm going to turn my wax on and see my gold is okay, but it needs to be on. So we're going to put this over the warmer. And I can see my box came today, going to use it tonight. Yay! So this stamp and the waxes are part of the Wax-O Club box, and we did ship out about 1,100 of them yesterday. And the rest are going to be shipped out next week along with the lettering box if you got that one. So it's going to be such a fun week of shipping, and they'll all be arriving so soon. So this is ready, and we're going to do my wax. And let's see if it's, I think I like how I have this ready to go so I can just pick it up. It seemed like it saved a little time. So I pour my sealing wax, a dragon press, and scrape it off. And I forgot I was going to try to press down more when I did that, and I forgot about that. So you're just kind of going along. I'm going to wipe all that off and try to get it all the way clean, put it back on the candle warmer. I'll grab another one and go around again. It's not a lot that's like coming off, but we're just trying to get all of like the extra. Gold is not the hardest color because it's at least a little different than the brass. Like you can see there's a difference. I would say last week we did this with vellum, which turned out cool in the end, but man, it was hard because it's clear when it's hot, so you cannot even see it, that it's there. So you're just like hoping that it did what you thought it did. So I'm just scraping off the edge, and then I'll do a quick wipe of the edge. And then now I just need to do the cool scrape. So before the cool scrape, we check the temperature. We're pouring it into cream. It's a little warm. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to move this gold strip to save for marbling. And then I can come back and do the scraping. So we'll just come. So you can see there was already kind of a big chunk that came up on that side. And I don't want this to happen, but I feel like it's gonna happen where I'm gonna pull up. Sometimes when you're doing this cool scrape, you'll pull up some of the wax that you've already finished. And so then you have to kind of go back a step and either do the whole press and pour again, or just fill that one little area. So kind of just keep going around. What do you guys think? Should we try a 3-toned one next? So instead of just 2 colors, we would be doing 3 colors. Okay, so that's pretty good. So then we'll go over here and wipe it off. And then we're ready to go into our next color. Nice and pretty clean. And I do think, like, I do a lot of this with paper towel when I'm doing a live, but when I'm not, you could also try to do it on parchment paper, like wiping this off, because you could save it. So it's kind of up to you, but to keep things kind of neat, I usually try to just do it this way so that my work surface isn't as messy. Okay, so we've got this. And then let's try this. And then we can try to pull, and I'll try one more direction. And if it doesn't come, yep. Okay. That's very cute. Okay, so we still have some bubbles, but now they're in new spots. It's here and a little bit on the D, but overall I feel like that one's a better one than the first one. These are so cute. Aren't these adorable? Okay. So we need to press. I kind of want to do a red into white. So this one is also a dark into a lighter color. I think it's easiest to do a light color into dark when you're first starting. So start with white or cream as your base, and then choose a medium tone second color. Well, that turned out great. That was a great temperature, no bubbles. The other thing that can happen, so obviously we don't want bubbles, but we can pop them. But something that can happen and happened to me a lot is if the wax that you're pouring isn't hot enough, it won't be hot enough to grab onto these items and make it stick. It'll just like they just don't stick together. So that's you do want to make sure this is hot enough and not like, oh, I'm just trying to avoid bubbles, because then sometimes that makes it not hot enough. Here we go. I wipe my wax onto a silicone mat so I can remelt it. There you go. So that's really helpful. And a good way to like save some of it. Okay, so now you can see we've done the scrape. You can see the scrapes and it still has a little bit of wax residue. To clean that off, basically all you do is you put it on the warmer for a long time. Okay, so let's just try doing 3 colors just to see. It's been a little while since I've done 3 colors, so I'm like, I gotta remember the steps here. So I feel like this is already warm enough. So for 2 reasons. One, our warmer over here has been on this whole time, so that's hotter, but also we just did a pour and scrape with this, so the metal itself was already at a warmer temperature, but it's feeling pretty good. So I'm going to be okay with that. So I want to do, this might be really challenging actually. Let's just try it, and if it fails, then it fails. Okay, so I'm going to do these in gold and the words in red. So I'm going to start with the gold, is what I'm thinking I'll do first. And I'm going to pop my wax back on and then I'm just going to scrape off. I'm not worried about how things are looking on the letters because I'm pulling all of those out. I'm like, did I do that in the right order? I think I did it the wrong order, actually. So this one, I think, because pulling out all the letters will be harder than just pulling out the 2 leaves. Yeah, I'm a little fuzzy on the 3-tone. I'm like, I haven't done this in a little while because I've just been doing the 2s colors. So I'll have to see if we do it right or not. We'll learn together. Okay. Okay. So here's the thing. At this point, let's clean off our side and then we can talk more. Okay. So at this point, if we did want to start taking things out, a little awl will work great because you can just grab it and pull it out. So this might not be as bad as I thought. But sometimes it's kind of, it can get stuck in the engraving. And so then it's like, if it's not cooled down enough. So you can let this cool a little bit more. And if we hurry and the metal is still warm, we can just go right to the red. But if the metal is cooled down too much, then we'd have to take the gold out and heat up the stamp again, put the gold back again. But I think because that was way faster than I thought it was going to be. I was like so worried about that. Okay, I can see there's little bits of gold I didn't get. My stamp is decent temperature, so I'm going to just see if I can get these little spots filled in real quick, and then we'll do a cold scrape. I'm like, do I need to do a cold scrape yet? I don't think I do. I think I need to do the red. So all my gold is mostly filled in now. So now I'm going to do, except a little bit right there. I'm glad I saw that. Oh, and a little bit right there. Okay, so all my letters are clean. So I'm going to try it. I hope it works because it's not as hot as it was. But let's grab a hot spatula, hold over my paper towel. And I don't care that the red is going over the gold. When I first tried this, I was like, oh, it probably shouldn't overlap, but actually it kind of just helps seals it in place. So it doesn't matter. Oops. Red, I definitely want to get all the way off of my spatula before I put it back on the warmer. Because remember, we're warming up our stamps on the warmer too. And so if we don't, if there's still red there, it can get onto a stamp that's just warming up briefly. So I would say red, navy, black are kind of the hardest colors because they just seem to be everywhere. They're kind of hard to get off. Okay, clean off the edge. Oops. Zoop. So this is what I'm talking about, where there's like residue on the side. That's what I want to clean off, is so that it's not there. So you got to use some pressure. Okay, next I'm going to check my temperature. So I'm putting this into cream. That can't come up yet. My cream's looking decent, and so I'm going to turn it off. And then I'm going to do a cold scrape and try to get any extra red that's like in the background off. And I mean, I don't want to speak too soon. This is my first time doing the porn scrape with this stamp, is this today with you guys, but I'm actually really loving it with this technique. Sometimes certain designs seem to pop, like in this step, the wax will pop out of the design really easily. And so far it seems okay. So we kind of just want to keep going over it and get it the best we can. Because we're doing it into cream, anything that's left might be a little obvious. So the cleaner and we can get it, I think the better. But also, if you're like me, you'll get to a point where you're like, I'm done doing that, right? Okay. So that's looking pretty good. It's pretty clean. There's like a little bit of red here between the letters, but I'm not really that worried about it. Let's try it. So I need to press that shortly. Let's see if we can get this one off. This one was gold. Cute. Still with the bubbles though, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time with that, of not getting any. But I still think it's really pretty. Okay, let's try this one. We've got to put it into cream. I'm going to try to pour like more on this side. It feels a little cooler on the marble itself. And then there is one bubble here. And that's it. Let that cool. So far, I think let's do one more. Let's do, because this one, we've done both versions of this now. Let's try one with red as the base, and then that will be enough time for that one to be done. So we'll check our red. I think I'll turn them back on. So there's this constant like dance of like turning them on and off, I think. The gold makes it look so elegant. Yeah, I think the gold is really pretty. I love the gold and the cream. The red feels very Christmassy to me though. Like I love that combo. Okay, so let's try this one. I think I said this already, but there's still a little bit of residue. So I'm warming it up right now, but if I wanted to clean off the residue, I would just leave it on here for several minutes till it's super hot, and then you can just wipe it off with a paper towel. You'll want to be careful not to get paper towel stuck in all the grooves, so you don't want to twist it like I've done so many times, and then twisting it when there's wax in there is fine. But if there's no wax in there, you're just going to get a bunch of paper towels stuck in the engraving. So just kind of more of a wipe. But anyway, that will get all of, I think you can kind of see it in the camera. There's just like wax residue all over this. It'll get it off. So you just heat it up a lot. The same thing if you get something stuck in there, I would say you're either going to want to do cold, pop it in the freezer and see if you can pop it out that way, or you want to do hot. Put the whole thing over this candle warmer, and as it comes out, you wipe it off and clean it, and you'll get all of it out that way. So this is hot now. We're going to go red, which is of the three colors we have today, I would say it's kind of the messiest color. But I'm going to grab my hot spatula so I've got this ready. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we're doing pour and scrape technique where we're doing two-tone sills. And I'm kind of like pushing the wax back on and getting it back off again. So you can do that too. I like to do that if it's like there's an area where I can see there's a little bubble or hole, then I'll do it again. I'll go over it again. Okay, so that's looking pretty good on that one. So I'm going to switch out my spatula for the other hot one. And then we'll go again. And I'm telling you, if you haven't tried this, you're going to try it and you're probably going to stink at it for the first few times, or you might be good at it and then the next time it doesn't work and the next time it works and the next time it doesn't work. And that happened to me for so long where it's like I could not get consistent results. But then it finally like clicked. And so I really hope that you'll try it because it is a more complex technique, but it's so fun. And you can do a lot of fun things. And like, of course, we're just doing like 3 colors, but people will do like so many colors, like 6, 7, 8, 10 colors in one seal. And it's just amazing. So yeah, all that to say, you've got to try it if you haven't, even if it seems intimidating. Okay, so I'm going to clean the edge off. This one you can see it's really, so I can kind of use my nail a little bit. But I just want to try to get the edge completely cleaned before I move on to the next step. So at this step, I'm going to check my wax because if it's not hot enough, it's not going to pull it out. If it's too hot, it can get stuck longer or it just takes forever to cool. So we're going to go back over with the cool stamp. And you can see it's not a ton you're getting off, but just some. And just go around and around and around. You can always stamp into hot wax and remove the excess wax that way. Oh, that's a great point too. So yeah, if you ever get a point where you're like doing it and it's not working and you're like, I'm done with this one, you can just pour wax like you're making a regular sill, press it, let it totally cool, and then it'll just get wax out that way. That's the other thing too. Like, yeah, if your wax is getting stuck, making more sills is a great way to get it out. But the key is that it needs to have time to cool. If it's too hot, it won't really work very well. This one still has quite a bit. I feel like red, like I said, is kind of a trickier color to do. Not as tricky to have it be the base like this one, but as the one that's getting scraped off, it just seems like red is a little harder to get off all the way. Just darker colors in general, actually. Like navy and black. Probably a dark purple. I don't actually do a lot with dark purple. I have some in the shop. I need to try some sills with it. So it's not perfect, but it's at a point where I'm like, I'm done doing it. So then you'll just clean it off. And then we are ready. We can press this one into cream. and put all my bits to the side. That one's still not ready. Let's see if this one's done. I hope it wasn't too, like, all the design will stay in the seal. All right, let's let that sit for a second more while we get this one pressed. So we're gonna pour our cream, and then we're gonna press. And I do see a couple little bubbles here. That one popped itself. And good. Let that cool. All right, so we're gonna grab this one. And it worked. That's so cute. What do you guys think? Do you like this one or do you prefer just the two? I think that's kind of fun. I was thinking like, ooh, could you do even more? Like, so what if you did, I won't have time to do it today. I have to take my son to his doctor's appointment. But like these ones are tiny, like maybe these could be green and the little berries could be red and the words could be gold and you press it into cream. You know what I mean? Like, so you could, or you could be like, these ones are a darker green and these ones are a lighter green, or different colors of berries. Like you could go as many colors as you want. I think the biggest thing that I keep running into, and I need to like figure out why, I don't know if part of it is maybe my wax isn't hot enough to get it to go in, but I feel like I keep having issues with like bubbles and stuff in the press. And so that's something I need to practice more and see if I can figure out why that's happening. Regardless, all of these sills I would 100%, I'm still going to use them. I'm not going to not use them. But if you were like, I don't like this, you can cut it down and just remelt it in a spoon. Can you color the berries with paint? Yes. So you could absolutely do that. A part of me though is like, if I was going to do painting, I would just do a cream seal and then I would paint everything. But the idea here with the wax is that it's all wax, and trying to do it in all wax is just kind of fun and a challenge that's just cool. Would love to see multiple colored berries. Yeah, I think that would be really fun. I think the different colors of greens would be fun as well. And I think it could work. But yeah, that's a lot more time. So I think definitely if you're just starting, you want to start with like this light color into a dark, and then you can move into the darker color into the light and then work up to multiple colors. And I think it's really fun. So let me see if this, I don't know if this one will be ready yet because we just barely did it, but it'd be fun if it was. Yes. It's a little warm. There. That one's cute. I do like that one actually. I think it's fun to see both, like the opposites is really cute. So yeah, what do you guys think? The red and cream or the multiple color? I think I'll do one more like this one. But I think I kind of really like the light in the dark. I feel like it stands out a little bit more. But I think they're way cute. So anyway, that's all I have for today is that technique. But I did want to say, if you haven't gotten the Wax Seal Club box, the stamp we've been using this whole time is what comes in it. And the 3 colors we've been using are what comes in it. And so this box is every 6 months. So, or sorry, it's 6 months of the year. So it's every other month you get a box. And so it's in February, we do a Valentine's themed one and it comes early. So there's time to use it. And then we have an April box, June, August, October, and December. So that's kind of the order of this. So this is our December box. We're doing it early so it ships in time so you can actually use it for your holiday stuff. But yeah, it's so much fun. It does come with a handle on your very first box, so you could try this technique if you get the warmer and the spatulas. And I'm going to include the ribbon and the tags for anyone who does cut. Yesterday was the cutoff, but I'm going to extend it to today because there were a few people who messaged me and a few people in my other workshop that still wanted to join. So I'm just going to add the link for it one more time. If you haven't joined, I'd love to have you. It's so much fun. There's also a Facebook community with it, which makes it a really fun, like a fun community aspect where people are always posting their wax seals in there. And the people in this group are so creative. They have so many great ideas. And it's so fun to see like someone will do something and then you can get inspired by that. And then you create something a little bit different and it just goes on and on and on. And so it's super, super fun. A question, do these mail well on the outside of envelopes? Have you sent one to yourself? So there's a couple things with mailing wax seals. So the first thing is there's two ways to do it to ensure that your seal gets there safely. You could just put it in on your envelope, put it in your mailbox, and it may arrive okay, it may not. That's what my mom does, and half the time there's a seal on it, and half the time there's not, or sometimes it's scuffed up. But she doesn't do anything extra. She just puts it on, but it never arrives. It's not a guarantee it's going to arrive safely. What I like to do is an outer envelope. So I'll put my seal on the inner envelope, the outer envelope gets the address, and then I can still just pop it in the mailbox. Or you can do what's called hand canceling. So you'll take it to the post office and it's like 50 extra cents for them to not put it through the machines and they'll sort it by hand. They also have hand canceling stamps. But from what I've heard from people, it kind of depends on your post office. So before mailing it, I would maybe go into the post office and be like, hey, I want to do this. What's the best way? Because some people have said like they have to use the stamp and other people say they can just go in and pay for it and they don't have to have the special stamp. I don't know. So just, I think it varies a little bit. So that's what I would do, hand canceling or an outer envelope to make sure that it arrives safely. Okay, so thank you guys so much for joining. If you have questions about this technique, you can leave them in the comments or you can send me a DM. I'm happy to answer them. But I hope you try it with your wax seals. And if you're like, if it's too much for now, just do your regular seals and just keep it in the back of your mind that it's something you might want to try in the future. But it's definitely approachable. It's definitely doable. It just takes a little bit of practice. So thank you guys so much for being here today. And I'll plan on seeing you next Thursday for Wax Seal Live. It will be at 1:30 p.m. If you don't already get the text, you can text the word live to this phone number, and then I'll send you a text reminder when I'm going live every week. So then you can join in with what we're doing. So next week, we're going to do more holiday seals. I do want to try, let me see if I have it. I have this bead set. It's sold out so fast. But I have more already coming before I'd even added it to the shop. So it will be here soon. But I was thinking it might be fun to do really like traditional Christmas color seals. So we might do some of that. I haven't fully decided. If you have ideas of what you want to see, let me know. Send me a message because I always love hearing people's ideas. So thank you guys for joining, and I'll plan on seeing you next week.